Hello all my fishy friends out there, and welcome back to another Stay Fishy adventure. Today we're on a deserted island in the middle of one of the biggest rivers on the west coast. We're fishing, we're building, and we're having fun. It's gonna be a really cool adventure today. We have a lot of fun stuff in store, so stick around. Thank you all so much for being here. Let's go have another adventure.
Dude, this is crazy. I've never been on a Stay Fishy episode. I feel like a celebrity right now, dude. We're rigging up a very complex setup out here today, folks. We're gonna run 3 hooks, 3 spin glows, 3 setups out there, and it's pretty damn complicated. You have to run... Thought I heard a bell. You have to run these big, long, like, setups in between. You guys are gonna see, it's very, I don't even know how to explain it, it's so complicated.
Okay, the time has come to put the munchables down and start running lines. And the most fun part about this sort of fishing method, one is you get to hang out on the beach. Look at this beautiful place that we're hanging out today. And 2 is you get to hang out with friends. And that's something I haven't really got to do a ton of in these Stay Fishy videos. There's been a good couple of the last videos where I got to hang out with some people and go fishing with friends, but fishing is that much better when you have someone to share it with. And today, we got Mr. Colt down here. We got myself, we got little boy over here, we got Alex, Nick, and we got Marlin. And that really, again, is what makes this kind of fishing so much fun, is you're out on the beach with a bunch of friends, running lines, and it can be an extremely effective method. One, because you guys have already seen the setup that we're doing right now. We're using 3 hooks on each single rod. But that is the best part, because we have 3, 6, 9, 12, 15 different setups out in the water at all different ranges of distance. So that's what we're gonna do right now. I'm pushing the boat off, and I'm gonna actually take the lines out into the water, drop our rocks down, and have each one of these rods staggered. So let's do this. All right, so this first one we're gonna run out to about 15 feet deep, 10 to 15 feet. And a lot of times it depends on your current on how far you're gonna go. That's the really crazy part about this kind of fishing, is these salmon, obviously the river's probably almost a mile across right here, and these salmon are literally gonna swim within 15 to 20 feet of the bank. So I'm gonna run this thing out to about 15 feet, that's 6 feet there. There's 7. That's 13 feet.
That's probably good. It's not gonna go too far downriver, I don't think.
Number 1 deployed.
Perfect.
Okay, hold it tight. Okay, do it. Okay, everybody, so we're sun's out, guns out. And now we're looking for some tools to make our shelter. What I'm thinking here is doing like kind of a lean-to style of survival shelter. I'm gonna bury 2 good sticks in the ground and then have a cross beam basically that goes across that I'm gonna tie up with a paracord, and then try to find enough material to kind of create this lean-to shelter that we're gonna camp in. It's kind of a fun thing, I think, especially when you're out here fishing like this and doing this method of plunking where there's not a whole lot to do all day, especially if the fishing isn't super good. This is a great way to stay active and stay busy. And one, you need to get yourself some shade from the sun or shade from the wind and rain and whatever else is going on around you. So I'm gonna find some good pieces here. I got one really good one so far. You see how this one kind of bends at the top? That should work perfect. So I'm gonna bury it. Have the one piece here, one piece, can't see yet, but imaginary over there, one across, and then create our little structure here. There's a lot of stuff to choose from, so I just want to find stuff that's the right diameter. And look at that, just a straight up 2x4. That'll work. I found 20 bucks. Okay, now this one looks like a perfect 3rd little cross beam. It actually has this nice 4th in it. Let's see how it is. Oh yeah, even adds a little bit of pizzazz to the architecture. I like it, a little feng shui, if you will. So we got our first 3 pieces here. Let's go get them buried and dug in. I'm gonna start coming up with some ideas for the rest of the structure. I almost feel like a castaway out here. What are all these friends for if they're not even gonna help me build a survival shelter? Okay, so I'm gonna do it up here on this little plateau. I got my first few cross beams. And what's this over here? I'll throw this stuff down. Looks like an old tent of some sort. Some refuse, if you will. Let's see if we maybe can utilize some of this stuff. Maybe I can use the poles or even the tarp material itself to help build this thing. I don't know, I was thinking more of an organic approach. I'm gonna try to find a couple more pieces, maybe a couple options just in case those ones aren't strong enough. I kind of want to find another one with a fork in the top of it like that too. That's really kind of perfect for what I was looking for here. The journey continues. Okay, so I think I'm gonna change my mind. I got the structure kind of set up over here, but I'm gonna utilize this log here and kind of the back brace of it. I'm gonna bury these things in the ground here, kind of bury them down, and then I'll actually have some sort of brace for these so that they're not falling over on me. And then I'll run my vertical beams off the ground up onto it. So I'm gonna bury these maybe a foot or 2 down, get them nice and stable. We'll see how this goes. Okay, so like I said before, I'm gonna utilize and make it a little longer. I'm gonna build this thing to kind of get within the realms of this 2x4 here. So I'm gonna build 1 hole here. X marks the spot. 1 hole here. Okay, so this actually might work really nicely. I'm gonna have this thing kind of sit like yay. No, maybe like this. I think more like this. The decision making can be half the battle out here. I'll use my 2x4 here as a hammer. I'll clear some of these limbs off. There we go. Let's get branch number 2 in here. I need to do a little trimming. Oh, too short. Gonna have to find another stick. Okay, it doesn't have the fork on the top, but that's okay. Looks like a stout little stick we can use here. It has this little bit of a knob on it. So we'll give it a try. I'm gonna do a cool little trick here. I'm gonna tie a little, almost a fisherman's knot on this end. I'm going to secure it to this one here. And that's going to pull tight on that piece of wood. That way I can keep it connected to this one. I'll point to this piece of wood. That way it digs in the ground a little bit better for me. There we go. Alright, beginning of the shelter is made. Looks like quite the old hacienda out here on the beach. Now what I'm gonna have to do is find enough sticks to go across that crossbeam at the top. Start really building this thing. What is this super cool piece of art? I love wood art. Let's see some comments below on what you guys think of this thing. Is it a taker or a lever? I think it's a taker. Look at this thing in the sun. So freaking cool. It's like looks like a root piece from like a cottonwood or something. It's very, very light. I mean, I bet this thing weighs less than a pound. But it's super beautiful. Nice little mantelpiece. Yeah. That's a keeper. So I'm having trouble finding enough sticks now that are gonna be long enough to cover the back end of my shelter there. I wanna create just a straight row of sticks just to kind of block the elements. I am gonna utilize a little bit of that tent that's on the ground, I think, just to help block the wind a little bit. But I definitely want a nice structure to the lean-to itself. So I'm gonna try to find about, I don't know, 10 to 15 pieces of wood, ones that are gonna be long enough to lay across there. Get them all laid across and see how this thing starts to form. There's a good little score. A little pile of them. Alright, so my idea now is going to be weaving some of these green boughs into the structure here. These things are nice and limber and soft too, so I'll be able to kind of weave them back and forth and in and out. Give myself a little bit more shelter here. It doesn't look like it's going to rain tonight, so really I just want something to kind of break the wind, something that's going to kind of make it comfortable for me to be laying in here and allow me to chill out for the evening. Well, and in the spirit of recycling, I think we better utilize this old tent piled up there on the bank. We'll take this with us when we leave too. I hate seeing this kind of trash and refuse on the bank. There's bottles, there's styrofoam, there's stuff everywhere. So we're gonna try to make use of whatever we can to build a shelter. And this actually works perfect for our windward side, the side that's gonna be facing out towards the river. So couldn't ask for anything better. Well, look at that. We got ourselves a good old-fashioned stabbing cabin. Sweet, let's fill it in. Well, just so the wind doesn't pick up on me at night and kind of hold my whole shelter down, I'm just gonna add a little weight to it with some sand. Give myself a little wind barrier here. I gotta say, pretty proud of ourselves here. A little help from some friends, a lot of help from the little dog here. He carried a lot of sticks around today. And we have ourselves an island survival shelter because we're the island boy. But I don't like the Island Boy song, okay? But let's check out the shelter. Let's do a grand tour. Here it is. Here's our home for the night. I must say it's got a very cabana style feel to it, very tiki or like bohemian, if you will. But it's gonna be nice and comfortable. We got a nice wind block. The wind's coming from upriver, so that's our wind out there. That's gonna be our alarm clock. The sun will actually come up over here. That's west. This is east. This is west. And what we're gonna do now is my friends are gonna leave me out here on the beach because this is a really hard fishing spot to get. Granted, we didn't catch anything today, but it doesn't mean we're not gonna get any tomorrow. So these guys are gonna ditch me out here and leave me to survive in my bohemian hut for 24 hours. We'll see how it goes. I'm gonna have food this time. This isn't necessarily a survival challenge. It's more of just me enjoying things that I like to do, and that is kicking it on the river. And so does Little. Little's definitely enjoying kicking it on the river over here. But what a great freaking day. Sat out here with some beautiful weather. The Northwest has been so gross this year, and I love the rainy weather and the cold weather because one, it helps our fish, and I love to salmon, trout, and steelhead fish, and I love to go camping and stuff too, but the weather has really been holding us back from doing a lot of that. So let's see some comments below on what you think of this shelter. I'm pretty proud of it. Doesn't look quite as nice from this distance, but it'll do the trick no less. And I want to see some ideas for some survival challenges. I know we've asked you guys in a few different videos what you wanted to see on some of these upcoming Stay Fishy adventures, and what kind of challenges you want to see me do, whether it's getting left on a deserted river island, or doing some sort of overnight kayaking trip, or something that is just kind of getting me out of my element. And once again, like I said, in a lot of the last Stay Fishy adventures, I want to see some invites and some comments and stuff from people all across the country and world, because I want to get out of my shell. I want to get out of the Pacific Northwest. I want to be able to travel around the East Coast, go to Canada, go to Alaska, go down south to South America, and get to meet all you fans out there and all you awesome outdoor enthusiasts, and get to go have some more adventures with some fishy friends. So think it's about time to get to cooking. We didn't catch anything yet, but we're gonna have to keep trying. What a beautiful day. Got a little windy out there on the beach, so I moved my kitchen into the bushes for tonight. Everybody left me here. I'm all alone now, me and Tiny, out on the island to survive. But just because we're out here to survive doesn't mean we're not gonna eat good. So on the menu tonight is a little leftover surprise. What I'm gonna do here, I don't know if I've done it on the Stay Fishy channel yet, but on Addicted, I've done a couple of videos where I did a salmon melt. And today we're doing some leftover morels and salmon. So what I made with this prior, and you guys are gonna have to watch some future videos because I'm gonna do the same recipe. I made this at home the other night for myself, but this was a pesto salmon and morel pizza. Say that 5 times fast. But I have the leftovers from that I brought out here today just to kind of reuse. But it's got morel mushrooms in there like you've seen on past videos. It has a little bit of that leftover salmon. I seasoned it with some Italian seasoning and some pesto. So this is gonna go really good. I have a couple more ingredients that's gonna go really well. I got some of my Kalama sourdough bread, and I'm gonna make myself a melt out of that leftover surprise. So check this one out. Here we go. So what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna take my pan, I'm gonna save my butter because that's for my bread. I'm gonna butter my bread. I'm gonna take my pan, I'm gonna do a pretty generous helping of this stuff in there, honestly. That should be about good. I'm gonna add my cream cheese right into that too. And of course, I'm sure Little's gonna want some, so I better use all the cream cheese. That looks good. I got my barbecue, and I'm gonna fire this up on the barbecue. I'm gonna blend this all together, but before that, I'm gonna get a couple extra things ready here. I'm gonna add some ingredients to this. I think it's gonna make it really nice. I have a little bit of green onion in here. My fingers will work. I have a little green onion and a little bit of spinach. And that spinach is gonna give it a nice flavor. It's gonna kind of give it that little bit of earthy flavor. Add a little nutrients so I can stay warm tonight, because Lord knows I'm gonna need it. It is getting cold out here already. I'm gonna take some real fine slices of spinach, put that in the pan. I'm gonna take just a few good slices of green onion, drizzle that in there. And I forgot my little crack stove, so today we're cooking this one all on the barbecue. So we're gonna make like a Cuban style sandwich. I don't really have anything to press this with. I think I might just keep my hand on it because I don't want to burn that bread. Because I brought the butter to butter my bread, but I don't want to burn my bread. So I'm gonna fire up the barbecue, get this stuff going. Forgot something again. I didn't bring any silverware to mix this stuff up with, so I guess we're gonna have to fashion a spoon out of some wood. It is so beautiful how it calmed down back in the woods here. It was getting pretty gnarly out there on the water. That one's a little too dead. I don't want that. Let's go with this one. Maybe a little greener. That bad boy. And I'm just gonna whittle this down with my knife. Give myself something to mix with at least. Okay, we got it. Time to fashion my spoon. My mixing spoon, Tiny. What do you think of this little adventure? Think this is gonna be a good dinner? Yeah, I do too. All right, that ought to do the trick. So really, I'm just gonna try to mash all this stuff together, get it in a nice little blend. It's gonna have to get quite a bit hotter, so maybe I'll stick the lid on, let that stuff kind of simmer in there, get it nice and hot, and then I'm gonna add it to my toast. It's starting to melt a little bit. Okay, while I'm waiting for that, I'm gonna butter up my bread. Here's a little trick for you. Easy way to make spreadable butter. Stick it next to the barbecue. Now this is probably gonna be the highlight of this. My favorite bread in the world is sourdough bread. And what I have here is Kalama sourdough. This is sun-dried tomato and cheddar bread. Look how delicious that looks. So I'm gonna take and butter up each side of this. Or one side of, actually. I'll just use my fingers. Why not? This is primitive camping at its finest. Nobody cares. You guys don't care, right? You're not eating it. I am. I wish you guys were eating it. I want to see some comments below. I want you guys to start shouting out some recipe ideas. I'm not running out of ideas by any means, but I love to learn new recipes. I always like to say I'll try to eat anything twice, because everything was worth trying. Every single like culture of food or recipe or wild game or whatever it might be, I think there's always a sense to try just about anything. I'm not a huge texture freak or anything like that, so comment some stuff below on some recipes you guys want to see me do in the future. I've been trying to come up with some good ones for you just on whims, but it'd be nice to get some feedback from the viewers, you guys, on what you want to see in the future. So just keep mixing, just keep mixing. Wow, I wish you guys could smell that right now. That pesto with that cream cheese, with the salmon, with the spinach, with the mushies. We got the morel mushies in there. Woo! Goodness gracious. That's what I call living. Who said you needed nice utensils? And hey, there's kind of a reason behind why I'm using such crappy cooking gear out here. And one, it's because I just haven't really had a chance to go buy any new stuff. And two, I'm waiting for some pots and pan sponsors out there, or any sort of cooking utensil or camping utensil. So you guys, if you want, there's links in the descriptions and on the main page of where you can send fan mail to. If you have some special things you think I should try to use, whether it's just a little gadget, or it's a pan, or it's a fork for that matter, be sure to send it our way. Drop the comments below on any ideas once again, and it would be much appreciated, because obviously I can't help but forget something every time, but I think you guys kind of enjoy that. Back on for just a few minutes. I'm ready to go. Tomorrow there's a train to Carolina. Tomorrow that's where I'm gonna go. Feel the warm sun shining. Okay, here we go. So I'm gonna take, ooh, I almost did the sacrilegious thing of putting the meal, the innards, on the outers. I don't want to do that. So I'm gonna go right on to that beautiful piece of toast. Oh my God. Look at that. Look at how that's turning out. Ladies and gentlemen, I wish you could taste this right now. The innards of the sandwich are unbelievable. That is a killer combo. Okay. I'm gonna turn my barbecue on low. I'm gonna toast my toast. There we go. Look at that. Look at how amazing that looks. Okay, sandwich into pan. Okay, and we wait. I don't know if you guys can hear that. I'm hearing a sizzle. I'm hearing a sizzle. That's toasting in the making. Sounds sizzly. I like sizzly. Oh, a golden brown. Look at that. Just a golden brown. Okay, back on we go. Time for another check. Ooh, that side got a little toastier, I'm thinking. Oh, yeah, bud. Look at that. Yes. I'm gonna get that other side a little crispier, because it was a little bit soft after the final reveal. And it's time to eat. Come here, you. Come on. Come to me. Oh, such a good boy. Such a good boy. You like camping? Think we're gonna sleep good tonight? Maybe after this meal. Oh, that was a hard no. Okay. Time. Oh God. Ooh. That was close. I'm gonna give her the old slice and dice. Holy moly's. Look at how amazing this looks. Just gonna kick back with my little dog. Man, that looks good. Mmm. Look at that morel. So this is a really easy recipe, guys, to use with just about anything. I've done this with my canned salmon. I've done this with leftover fish. This is a great way to make the most of what you have and not let anything go to waste, because these fish that we were fishing for today, we've caught before on Stay Fishy, so if you want to see us actually catch a spring chinook like we didn't do this afternoon, be sure to go back and watch some of those videos where we do go out and get them and make some delicious meals with it. But it's so great to have one to be able to use for leftovers like this. So thank the creator for this one. And thank you, little. Unbelievable. The morels and the spinach really make this. The fish is really good, but the morels and that spinach, that kind of wholesome flavor that they add, makes this sandwich that much better. The cream cheese is delicious. Everything about this night is good. It's not too cold. And our bellies are full. That is really good. Well, one thing I must say is I love camping on the river. This is gonna be a good night. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video today. I think it's about time for me and Little to go crawl into our hut, try to stay warm for the night, and plan out our next adventure. So be sure, again, be commenting below with some ideas that you guys want to see us go do, and let us know what kind of places and environments you want to see us go and do this kind of challenge once again. It's not much of a challenge because we're living pretty easy, but I'm loving life. I want to thank you all again for being here on another Stay Fishy adventure. It has been an awesome day, and I cannot wait for the next one. We got some good plans in the making, and I can't wait to see you guys back here next week, same time, same place. You all stay fishy. We'll see you out there.